Hey everybody, this is Colin with Studio 1405 at the Poplar Creek Public Library. Today we're going to be doing part 2 of our beginner guitar lesson series. Today we're going to be playing Words of Love by Buddy Holly and most famously popularized by the Beatles. Let's get to it. Alright, so this week we're going to learn a couple new chords and a new strumming pattern. This song is in the key of A, and we'll be using 3 chords to play this song: A, D, and E. The A chord is played starting on the A string with open on the A string, 2nd fret of the D string, 2nd fret of the G string, 2nd fret of the B string, and open on the high E string. There's 2 ways that you could play this chord. Well, one is with these 3 fingers, your middle, ring, and pinky, or you could play with your pointer, middle, and ring finger. For this song I'm playing with this first fingering because it's easy for me to transition to the other chords while using this fingering. There's no real right way to play these chords. It's whatever's most comfortable for you in the song that you're playing. Next we'll be playing the D chord, starting on the D string with open on the D string, 2nd fret of the G string, 3rd fret of the B string, and 2nd fret of the high E string. Now, in this song, I'm using a different fingering than we were using last week. I'm going to be using my pinky to play that 3rd fret of the B string instead of my pointer finger. And once again, the reason for that is when I'm playing this A string, I can easily slide up, or playing the A chord, I can easily slide up to play the D. If you're using the other fingering, it is just as easy. Next we're going to play the E chord, and starting on the low E string, it's open on the low E, 2nd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the D string, 1st fret of the G string, open on the B string, and open on the high E. And just like the other chords, there's multiple ways to play this one. This is the standard fingering with the middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A, ring finger on the 2nd fret of the D, and pointer finger on the 1st fret of the G. You can also play with your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the A, pinky on the 2nd fret of the D, and pointer or middle finger on the 1st fret of the G. And play around with these different fingerings and figure out what is most comfortable for you. There are 2 strumming patterns that we can use for this song. If you want to, if you're struggling with the 2nd pattern, you can play the 1st pattern the entire song, and that's totally fine. The 1st pattern we'll play is a simple up-down pattern. And I'm using the nails of my fingers to strum as I'm going down. And as I strum back up, I'm using the nail of my thumb. For the 2nd pattern, we're going to try to mimic the lead guitar line in the song. And in order to do that, we're going to play a couple of strums in quick succession to accent a certain rhythm. And I'm going to play it first before I go over it. For this pattern, you're going to start on the A chord, playing down, down, up, and that's for that faster accent at the beginning. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And then as you're going into the next chord, you're going to start with an upstroke. Down, down, up, down, up. And that will lead you into the D and E chord that you will play the same as the previous pattern. Down, up, down, up. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So the first part of the pattern is down, up. No, it's not. It's down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. If that's a pain, if that's challenging for you, you can stick with the up-down pattern for now and move on to that later when you're more comfortable. So the way the patterns line up with the song is we will play pattern 2 4 times, and we'll play that when we're not singing. So we'll start with pattern 2, and then once we start singing, we'll go back to the up-down simple pattern for pattern 1, and then when we stop singing, we'll go back to pattern 2 for 4 times, and then go back to pattern 1. The entire chord progression of the song stays the same throughout the whole song. It's A, D, E, A. Alright, so let's try putting all of those elements together and playing the whole song together. 1, 2, 3, 4. everybody, and we will see you next week.